Hello. Hello, can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the screen is visible to you because I'm having a bit network problem today. Is it visible to you, my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, okay. Okay, so in the last class, we discussed about the early modern period, and today we'll be discussing about the recent period, which is mainly related to the whatever the work was done in the uh, early modern period, and that compilation was done in the later part of the uh, 20th century, like after 1950, the whole compilation, or basically we'll be discussing today, like after World War, like what happened, what kind of uh, development took place in the field of cartography or map making, and then uh, we'll be discussing even before World War also, like whatever uh, developments took place related to the surveying methods, then preparation of the topographical maps, which you maybe remember from the last class we were discussing. Then in the early part of the 19th century, mainly topographical maps became very popular, and then some of the world maps also. At the same time, the surveying method was like improving. So here, like all those works which started in the 19th century, it continued in the 20th, early 20th century also. Like more surveying was done, more and more area were recorded, and then map preparation was done. Then the almost in every country of the world, like they try to establish the surveying centers. Uh, or institution or organization which will work for the production of topographical maps. For example, like in India, we have Survey of India. You must have seen the topographical sheets in the geography lab, which is prepared by the Survey of India. So that uh, basically that preparation of map is done by the Survey of India. So those kind of institution, even in US, United States Geological Survey of Geological Survey, then in European countries also there were surveying institutions like France, Spain, etc. So Spain, they were having from before only, from 18th century, like we already discussed that in 18th century, and Spain, and then Lisbon in Netherlands, the two institutions were there who were dealing with the surveying of the areas. Then in France also, of course, because first survey method was implied in France only. Then there was a city from like in the radius of 9 to 12 kilometer. One of the cartographer, he tried to do, and then triangulation method was introduced. So with the help of that triangulation method only, the surveying took place. And of course there was some improvement in the instruments, improvement in the method of surveying, and like improvement in technology, you can say. So we will be discussing that, like how they compiled these things and what were the main work of the recent period, or you can say the early 20th century, basically. We'll be discussing about 20th century and 21st century. Like after compilation, how this computer technology or the other satellites, remote sensing, GIS softwares, etc., are helping. Or now it's completely computer based cartography, that no manual work is there, only like field methods. Like for surveying, if you are going to the field, then you have to verify like whatever you are seeing through the satellite imageries or with the aerial photographs, etc., whether that objects are there in the field or not. So only for the verification thing, people used to go, or the surveyors used to go and verify. If they are not able to understand a particular object mentioned in the satellite imageries or aerial photography, then they used to go to the field and try to verify like what kind of object is that. Uh, these kind of things. Then I just wanted to ask you, like, so many of you are already using we have that location maps always. Like if you want to go to any place, you are using the location maps in your mobile phones, because GPS, then Google Earth, like all of us are very much familiar. So if you are like switching on those apps, then it is nothing but the one of the technology of cartography only. This is also a cartography, which is basically a digital cartography, which has a link with the satellites, and it is completely a computer based cartography. So now you can see, like, from where we started and now where we have reached. Now we have maps in our own in the mobile phone, and like you can use it very whenever you are needing that. So like now each and every person in the world has the access to these kind of maps. So today we'll be discussing all these developments. So recent period, it started from the 1900 AD, and till date it is continuing. Okay, so then coming to the works, like in first half of the 20th century, like till 1950, what were the works which were done? So like the chief characteristics of this period, we can see that the organization of national topographic surveys. As I say that from the 18th century, or the 18th century, then 19th century, this preparation of the topographical maps, or you can say the large scale maps preparation is started, cadastral maps, etc. So for this, like organization, all those works has been organized in a like a for a national topographic surveys, like for the survey of the whole country nationally. Like before, it was done for the small area or a small city, not also not completely the whole city, only the small portion of the area. Like if you remember, we discussed in the 17th century and 18th century, like how in France, in the Heidelberg city, like they try to survey the radius of a 9 to 12 kilometer in the city. So like from that small area it is started, then people started to doing it in national level, like how it can be organized in a national level. Then the second most important characteristics of this period is the like mass production and use of maps. As we discussed, like in the later part of the 19th century or 19th century, mainly there was a speed of production of maps, or the volume of production increased because of the availability of the printing presses. So like even in the early 20th century also, the mass production and use of maps, like people started using the maps for different purposes. Like if you compare with the ancient period or medieval period, then like people were not using maps that much. But in the later part of the medieval period, when this voyages and expeditions and exploration started, people started using the maps. But by the time we reach in the early part of the 20th century, or you can say that the 20th century, the production increased. At the same time, the people started using maps. Like nowadays, we are also, all of us are using the maps in the form of Google Earth, etc. In the different platforms. So for the different, to know the location of any place, to know, of course it is used for the other purposes, even sometimes for monitoring traffic, etc. also we are using. So these then if you will go to outside, like in Meghalaya, we don't have this kind of services of taxi, etc. But if you'll go to Guwahati, also this Uber, then this the other Ola and other cabs, those drivers are using all this locational maps to reach the destination of the passengers. So now in this one actually started in, of course it was in the form of the paper, like on the in paper only, like it was printed. But now like in mobile phones we have these maps. So in 20th century there was a large use of maps, like people started using maps since production was more, so it was not that costly to buy the maps. And people who wanted to go for the uh, different traveling at the same time for the military purposes, and statesmen etc started using the maps, and public also started using the maps extensively. Then third characteristics of this period is the increase in the influence of science and technology. So as there was a changes in the science and technology, the methods of surveying the areas, the methods of preparation of the maps also improved. So we can see the influence of the development of science and technology in the field of cartography also. Then number 4 is international cooperation, mapping and related issues. Like when this as we discussed that in the 18th in the later part from the 18th century and then early part of the 19th century, like this topographical maps were started. So in British only, like British people only, they started, and they had one institution called Ordnance Survey, and under that only even they started surveying the areas of India and Indian subcontinent also, like Pakistan, Bhutan, Nepal, all those Southeast Asian countries also they started doing that. So in this 20th century, this international cooperation also started in terms of mapping, because all the countries, they don't have that much of advancement and knowledge related to the map making. Like we have seen when we started from ancient period, we the countries, right? Like who are the countries who were leading in the field of cartography. So mainly we have seen that the in the medieval period or in the 20th century, these were the European countries who were leading in the field of cartography. So as you know that the European and then some parts of Asia, also India was also influenced by, as it was under the rule of the Britishers. So because of that, all the countries were not sufficient, you can say, or they have to depend on the other countries for the surveying of the regions, because they didn't have this kind of institutions like the way we have in India, Survey of India, who is dealing with the preparation of the maps or etc. So these kind of institution, if you will check, you don't find that there is all the countries in the world, they have this kind of organization and institutions. So for that, what they have to do, they have to depend on the other countries. So international cooperation related to the mapping of the areas, and even related to issues like border issues, etc., like how to show all these things on the map, then who will publish, who will have the monopoly, etc. So all these are decisions. Also these things are also one of the main characteristic of the first half of the 20th century, or you can say recent period also, you can say. So as we were saying that this topographical surveys, etc. So you can see on the screen, these are the examples of some of the topographical maps, and these are from India only. You can see we were talking about the contour lines. So this brown color are contour lines. Then this green color is basically showing the vegetation. Then this one maybe a river, main river, etc. This one is the main contour who is crossing these areas, or it will have the height. So basically this one is the mountainous region, you can see, and this one is the plain region where you can see this settlement. Yellow color is agricultural land, and these are the rivers, where this is not the roads, okay, these are the rivers. And you can see this black small lines, these are the tributaries of the rivers, and these brown colors are the this contour lines showing the height of the different places, like you can see this one. And then even this small boxes, red color boxes, are settlement, etc. So these detailed surveys, you can see, like if you are going from this place to this place, you know the height because of the presence of this control lines. Then this one also you will come to know that this is agriculture field. Then this area is settlement area is there, then this is the river, these are the tributaries of the river, then some kind of particular type of vegetation you can find, this green color one. Even the whether there is a well or not, there is a police station, post office, each and every detail you will find. Even about the roads also, whether the road is a metalled road or the unmetalled road, or it's simply a lane, etc. So all these kinds of detailed information were available in the topographical maps. So these topographical maps were uh, like compiled, and it was done in the national level in the recent period. Then during the same period, a number of countries established national survey institutions. As I said that in the first part, or the first half of the 20th century, like they started about the surveying the areas at the national level. So for that, they will be needing one institution or organization which can maintain or which can take the responsibility of the preparing the maps or the surveying the areas. So for that, like in this period, in the same period, we found there was a large number of countries who started establishing the national survey institutions. The surveying instruments were also improved. Like we discussed that there was a great influence of the development of science and technology, as that science and technology was advancing. At the same time, after and improved there should be a reference line. Like without that, you cannot say that from this place the height. You have to. There should be a base from where you are going to particular area. So there was a determination of the mean sea level. Like all of you know that the MSL, mean sea level, or nowadays it is also known as the above sea level, ASL. So like from mean sea level only, we used to, like if you have seen the you have already read about the ocean configuration and also, like we have mean sea level, then we have continental shelf, then continental, then other divisions are there. So from MSL only, from mean sea level only, it was determined that from all the heights of the places in the world will be measured from the mean sea level, and that will be the referred altitude from where you are going to compare the altitude of the different places. So this was the first stage of development in the topographical surveys. Then the second one is the a preliminary plane table reconnaissance to determine suitable points for triangulation. So like we already discussed that the triangulation method was used to survey the areas, to know the exact position of the objects on the plane. So for that, like preliminary, the plane table surveying was done so that they will become to know like whether the triangulation of the points can be done or not, or which point will be suitable from where they will start this triangulation. Then thirdly, determination of initial latitude, longitude and azimuth. So before starting the survey, like you have to determine, you have to know the exact location of the place. So like you have to find out the latitude, longitude and azimuth means mainly the direction, etc. Whether that north direction, that the true direction you have to find out. Like when you will go for the surveying, say for example, when you will do in your practicals, whether it is a prismatic compass or plane table survey, first after setting up the table, you have seen your seniors also. So like after setting up the table, you have to find out the direction, like which one is the north. So first in the preliminary or initial stage, you have to determine the latitude, longitude and azimuth. Then the number 4 is measurement of the baseline. Of course, you have to draw like which one you are taking the baseline. Suppose A to B, A to B, you are taking the baseline. So you have to measure the distance, and from there only, from that 2 points only, you will try to find out the uh, distances of the objects in on the surface. So first you have to find out the baseline also. Then triangulation with the help of theodolite. Triangulation we can do with the help of the theodolite. Theodolite is an instrument through which you can do the contouring, or you can measure the height of the places. Then sixthly, calculation of the triangulation and heights, and transfer of trigonometrical points onto the sheets used by plane, tabular, etc. So like after doing the triangulation of the height, finally after using some of the trigonometrical methods, uh, that mathematical methods, we have to, whatever height or we have, whatever we have calculated with the help of the instrument, you have to draw on the plain sheet. That area you have to show in the plain sheet, then only your map will be ready. Then filling in of the details by the plane tabular. So like you will know the height of the places, that is okay, but after knowing the height of the places, you have transferred the height of the places on a piece of paper, but in between, like within the area where you have surveyed, you have your main aim is to find out the exact location of the object. Say for example, one institution is there. Suppose you are surveying your Don Bosco College area. So with the help of the theodolite, you have measured the height of the whole campus. But now the main work, your main work will be that on this campus, you have to locate the uh, objects objects like where is your administrative building, where is your classrooms, where is the parking area, like you have seen some of the, where is the basketball court, etc., or that road or the gate. So you want to show all those exact location of this places in the map. So for that you have to use the plain table to fill in the details. For that details you will be you will be needing the plain table. So these are the 7 stages with, like if you are trying to prepare the topographical map, so you're doing the topographical survey of the area, then firstly you have to go through all these stages, and finally your map will be ready. Once you will know the location of the objects, then you will be able to filling up the gaps between the areas, and then your map will be ready, and you will be able to say that this place is here, this place is there. That exact location you can show the object in the map. Then like you can see on the screen, these are the modern surveying tools, and then down you can see that the 18th century surveying tools. These are the chains basically made by the irons. This one with the help of which the triangulation was done before, like when there was no theodolite, and then the other leveling instruments were not available, and this was the compass you can see. Then there through this you have to check, like if you are doing the plane table surveying, then you have to use this one. But of course this one is completely, now it has been changed. You can you may have been seen in your lab also. It is different now. Then now you can see like so many instruments we have, like theodolite. This is the dumping leveling with which you can measure the, or you can find out the whether the area is leveled or not. So like mainly this leveling, and then this is a theodolite only, but now it is also known as the total station, and it is a sort of a like a improved version where like you don't have need to take the, and this is the reading stuff basically, with the help of which you will be able to find out the height. Like one person has to go and stand with this reading stuff, and the other one will check from this one, then you will be able to find out exact height of the area. So in this way, when after getting all these value, like suppose if you have surveyed 10 points, then A B C D like that, then you will get value for all the locations, and after that when you will go and plot in the graph, then you will get the profile of the road profile of the area. So these are the improved. Basically, you have seen this one is used mainly in the construction of roads, etc. You have seen also, like in when some kind of construction of roads is going on, like people are, especially the engineers, are using this one. Then theodolite also they used to use, because they have to do this triangulation thing. So these are, now you can see, and lot more, like in your lab, in our own lab also you have seen. So lot more of surveying instruments are now available in the modern era. Then the accuracy, as you can see, so much of improvement has been taken place in the field of surveying. Like now we have a more improved versions of the surveying tools. So because of that, the accuracy and efficiency of surveying, of course, it will improved, because because of the uh, obsolete availability of obsolete tools and techniques, it was like very difficult, and then surveying was becoming very tedious job, and it was taking lot of time also. But now, as we know that because of, we have the improved versions of the theodolites, which is known as the total station, then we have wireless and other mechanical aids to convert all these points and prepare the map of the area. Because of that, the accuracy and efficiency of the surveying methods has been increased. Then with the introduction of cameras in 1920, it was possible to use aircraft for surveying. So like till now, we were discussing about the land survey methods. Okay, like when you are on the land, on the surface, from the surface of the earth, how you will be able to survey the areas which are attached to the surface of the earth. But if you will see like how it looks from above, if you want to see the area or the earth from above, so how it look like. So say for example, you can see this earth. So this one is only possible because like if you have a if you will view the earth from the space. So like that one, it started in 1920 with the introduction of the cameras, where like with the help of the aircraft, it was possible to use them. Like in this method, what is done, the camera is mounted in the aircraft, and then the picture of that areas will be taken. So you must have seen so many aerial photographs nowadays. The aerial camera advanced the mapping of the earth at a speed and with fullness of detail. So sometimes it happens like if you are doing the land survey, then what happened, like maybe because of the presence of a tall building, or maybe because of the presence of the river or the high mountains, or there is something which is basically act as an obstruction, or you won't be able to see exactly the place. So with the help of this aerial cameras, like if you are surveying the area with the aircraft, then it will take the picture of the whole area, and because of that, it has the lots of details. At the same time, the speed of the mapping of the area will also increase. So you can see this is the aircraft with the help of which how the area is surveyed, or the aerial photographs are taken. So this is the example of aerial surveying. Then this one, now all of you know that nowadays we have a drones also, with the help of which we can take the pictures, or you can record also. This is not only the field of cartography, it has a lot of use in other fields also. But see, you can see here the aerial surveying is done, and then here you can see surveying with a drone. So all this will come under the aerial surveying only. Then almost all the countries of the world have establishment charged with surveying of land. So by that time, in 20th century, first half of 20th century, we saw that the most of the countries, they have taken the responsibility, and they have the surveying these things was already started, and then that responsibility was taken. And then in United Kingdom, we already know that in the 18th century only, I mentioned that the Ordnance Survey of Great Britain was established, who was dealing with the preparation of the topographical maps of the area. Then in France also, the Institute Geographic National is responsible for national surveys. Then in US, I mentioned US Geological Survey is the main chief agency. We can say in the whole world, it is the chief agency who is dealing with the topographical mapping. Then in India, it is the Survey of India which is charged with the responsibility of carrying out the topographical surveys. And all these and many more, like all of the countries have. I'm just mentioning about some of the countries, like three main countries I'm mentioning. Then all these organizations produce 1:1 million maps in the addition to several other series of the large scale maps. So 1:1 million, from there they are starting, and then more than that, like large scale maps are available. Like if you have seen in our own lab, the topographical scale is 1:50,000. Even the scale is larger than 1:1 million. So see, now we have 1:50,000, 1:250,000. So all these are organization, they used to produce 1:1 million maps. And then even the series of the large scale maps, the cadastral maps also, like land revenue officers, that they have the small area, like which plot belongs to whom, that much of in detail nowadays it is available. Then mass production and use of maps of various types is another distinguishing feature of this period. As I mentioned that there was a, because of the advancement in the technology, even printing technology also we can mention. So because of that, there was mass production of the maps. There were a lot of, the volume of production increased. And as the volume of increase, the people also started using the maps extensively. So that is another very distinguishing feature of this period. Then type and quality of maps produced as well as the quantitative data which map users, and construction group density of population. If somebody is needing to know about the vegetation types, then vegetation prepared. So see the themes, thematic construction of the maps were started. And then not only that, it was not only that the only the normal people can use the maps. The people, for the specialized group or the people who are differently able, for them also the special maps were prepared. So these are some of the very important features of this period. Then post World War developments, we can see that after 1950, we can say, like we were discussing about the till 1950, then after World War, what are the developments, mainly in the computer technology, and it has brought revolutionary changes in cartography processes. It represents a completely new and different technology for map making. And the process of adoption of this technology can broadly be outlined in three stages. So basically, you can see that the post-World War period is completely a revolution. You can see it a revolutionary change in the cartographic techniques. And mostly the main developments we can divide in three stages. The first stage, which was up to 1960, computer manufacturers and governmental research and development units used cartographic algorithms. So this computer manufacturers and governmental organization were using this cartography algorithms. Then in the second stage, which is up to 1970s, in this stage, we found there was a development in remote sensing and satellite imageries. Both the use of this remote sensing and satellite imageries entered in the cartography arena. Like before, we didn't talk about this remote sensing and the satellite imageries. But of course, like in 1920, when the camera for the first time it came into existence, this remote sensing, we can see that the development started from there, because aerial photography is the part of the remote sensing only. So from the maps which are, or you can say the images which are taken with the help of the remote sensing and satellites, etc., were entered in the cartographic techniques, and it spread fast and its product was comparatively better. So this technology was it was spreading very fastly, and at the same time the end product was very it was much more better than the earlier products. That's why it became very popular. Then the third stage, the post 1980, and we can say that till now it is continuing, and it is still on the horizon for computer cartography, and further expanded, is on the verge of replacing all the old and traditional techniques. So like all this third stage, which is still continuing, or after 1980, which started, there is a now people are developing new and methods in terms of computer cartography only, and like we are trying to replace all the old and traditional techniques, and there is more advancement in case of preparation of maps. More thematical maps are available, and small areas are surveyed, like which were before it was not possible to do. Then monitoring of the resources is done with the help of the remote sensing and satellite imageries. So now there is more expansion in the same field is going on. So this one you can see what is done in the remote sensing, like with the help of the satellites or the drones or with the help of the aircraft, you are trying to take the images of the earth, and then you are classifying the images. Then with the help of the computers, softwares, we are doing the analysis, we are preparing the maps. So this is how this pictures are taken and analysis is done with the help of the new technology. This is the new cartographical technology, where like we are not going to the field, we are not doing the survey by itself. We are taking the help of the satellites or drones or the other imageries which is taken from the space, and then we are sitting in the lab and then trying to prepare the models and then other imageries and other thematic maps, etc. Then this phenomenal change is due to the speed, accuracy, automation, low cost, data processing, preservation of data and map design in memory, possibility of increasing output, and freedom from tedious production tasks that characterize computer cartography. So now this phenomenal change, like everybody is supporting, and it's very becoming popular. Why? Because the speed is more, accuracy is more. So many works are done automatically with the help of the computers. At the same time, cost of production is low. Then data processing is easier from before, and then design, whatever data we are processing, that one we can preserve in the memory, we can preserve it in the computer, and we can use for longer period of time. Or that map which is already done, that one will be used for the base map for the preparation of the other maps. Then at the same time, we have output is increasing, and freedom, we have freedom from the tedious production of tasks which was taking a lot of time, and then it is completely characterized by the computer cartography. So today is the scenario of the cartography has completely changed. Like you will also get a chance as a part of your practical to use some of the softwares and to prepare the maps with the help of the computer. So this one also, as I can see the aerial photograph, when you open your Google Earth, you will be able to see the areas like this. So how much accessibility we have to the maps. And this is, you can take the example of the aerial photographs, the photograph which is taken from the above with the help of the aircrafts or airplanes, etc. So like if we want to view the satellites, through the satellites, if we want to view the earth, then it will look like this. Then these are some of the satellite imageries of the areas. You can see these are areas are the settlement. This is in the, no, not settlement actually. This is in the false color and this is in the true color. This one is the river, you can see. And then this is, see here, vegetation we can see. Then this whole area is the settlement. So now see in detail, we don't need to go to the field. We will be, with the help of the satellite imageries only, we can survey the areas, that this area is the vegetation, this is the road, this is the settlement, this is the river, these are the road direction, etc. Now exactly if you want to identify that what kind of settlement or like what kind of vegetation is there, then you have to go to the field and verify it. Otherwise the more details are available with the help of the satellite imageries. And then you can see the, like, now we can prepare the thematic maps with the help of the computer. Even if you will go to the Google Earth, and there is some other sources freely publicly, those sources are available to the earth, to us, with the web, which through which you can edit all these maps and you can prepare the thematic maps. So lot of advancement has been taken place in the cartography, and nowadays the more expansion is going on in this field only. Like, we are not thinking about the obsolete methods. Now we are mainly based on the computer technology of the cartography. And then this one is the digital maps, which is available to all of us through the mobile phone. We can access very easily to location, to see the locations and other things. So see, we have you can imagine like how much changes has been, not imagine, you know, only like how much changes has been come in terms of in the field of cartography. Like, before it was very difficult to access the maps, but now all of us we have maps in our own hand, and we are using it, we are extensively using it for the different purposes, for the leisure purposes, or for the traveling purposes, or for the establishment of other things, etc. So there are so many uses of all these maps. And basically this preparation of the digital maps has been completely revolutionized the geographical methods also, because now it is more easier to know the geography of any place with the help of the availability of digital maps, and with the help of the digital modeling, etc. Like civil engineering and the other fields, people can prepare the models beforehand only, like what kind of construction they are going to do. So all these are the cartographic techniques only. So this was all about the history of map making, right from the ancient period to the recent period. Thank you. So if you have any queries related to this, we can discuss. Yes, Pema, are you there? Hello. Okay, did you understand? It's okay. Now we can talk. You can unmute yourself and then you can tell me. Anyone, anything you have not understood, anything related to this history of cartography? Yes, Joshua, Milton.
No, ma'am.
Yes, Joshua, did you understand everything, whatever I explained?
Only half.
Only half. I know why only half, because I can see you only from two classes only. Before you were not present. You were not attending.
Yes, ma'am. I can attend.
Okay, I hope you will continue now. Like maybe because of some other issues or network issues, you didn't attend it. But lot of things we have already discussed, especially this history part. Okay, anyhow, the notes will be uploaded in the Google Classroom, so you can check there. Okay, so you don't have any queries related to this topic. So I would like to sum up this topic here only. From next class, I will start another topics. Okay, you may have class in other classes, so you can leave. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.